Hi, everyone, and welcome back to My Kids Think I'm Cool, but podcast holiday special. For 25 days, I will be interviewing an international living abroad on how they are celebrating Christmas in their home country and now how they celebrate Christmas in the new country they're living in. Today, I have Catie from Scotland, but currently she's living in Switzerland, which is a dream country of mine, as you could see in the background. If you're on YouTube, you could see she's in the mountains right now. But if you're listening, she has a background of the mountain right now, and I'm so very jealous right now. Welcome, Catie, and thank you for being part of this podcast, my Christmas special.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's very exciting. I love the fact you're doing a Christmas special. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's fun but difficult because I figured that I have to find 25 internationals living abroad, but it's been a great process and I found them, so it's awesome. Before
Brilliant.
we get started on the Christmas special, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and maybe your podcast that you have too?
Yeah, sure. My name's Catie Friend. I live in Switzerland, as you said, and I'm Scottish. I'm 47. I have two kids, a boy of 12 and a daughter of 10. Oh, I nearly forgot there. And my husband and I have lived in Switzerland for nearly 11 years. In January, it will be 11 years. And we came here originally about 15 or 16 years ago to set up a ski school. And we were in and out from between here in London. And then when we had our son, we just thought we don't want to live in London anymore. So we made the move. We were originally going to come for 18 months. I was pregnant at the time with my daughter, and we thought we'll just go for an adventure. And we were here for about 3 weeks, and we said, yeah, let's just not go home.
That's
And as you
awesome.
say, it is absolutely a dream come true. It's just beautiful here, and summer and winter alike. It's just so stunning. So we feel very lucky and very privileged. And bringing up bilingual children, which I'm sure you probably know, is just such a massive privilege. It's amazing.
Yeah, and when you say that it's a privilege to bring kids up in an international atmosphere, I totally agree with you. It's nice. It's like a gift that we give them, like two languages instead of one, and then experiencing two cultures instead of just
Mm.
one culture. Let's get into the Christmas spirit. How do you celebrate Christmas in Scotland?
Well, I come from a very traditional Christmas celebration. I think it's probably fairly like most Western cultures. We up in the morning and stockings, Santa's been, and very exciting. We used to wake up, my brother and I, at sort of the 4 o'clock in the morning to see what was in the big bulging stocking at the end of the thing, at the end of the bed. Then breakfast, then under the tree for more presents, and then either my mom or my auntie, my dad's sister, would host, and we had huge family Christmases, up to 26 people sometimes, massive, coming about 1 o'clock and doing the usual turkey and all the trimmings and that kind of thing. And then more presents.
Yeah.
Morning. And sorry, I'm out on the mountain and some friends just came past.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
and then we would, yeah, just eat a lot, and that was it really. So the 25th is the big day for us as Scots, and that was kind of our major thing. And my husband, pretty much the same. He's English, and we've had Christmas at each other's parents' houses, and it's fairly similar. So yeah, that's how we normally celebrate it.
How are you going to celebrate it now in Switzerland? Are you going to try to keep the tradition or kind of mix in some different Swiss traditions and how they celebrate it?
Well, what we brought with us, we brought our very traditional British Christmas with us to live in
Mhm.
Switzerland. But over the years, it's sort of evolved, I guess. You'd sort of do that thing where you do my family, my rules kind of
Mhm.
thing, and we don't have our family close, and so we sort of made up our own rules. It's more friends. We're so lucky. We have the most incredible community here, international and Swiss. So we started doing sledging and with champagne and smoked salmon on Christmas morning before everybody went off to their separate houses to celebrate whichever way they wanted. And then my one of my closest friends and I, we would swap year about. We would host, and whoever hosted did the turkey, and whoever didn't host brought all the other bits and pieces. And so that was kind of nice. And then in recent years, well, first of all, we haven't had very many white Christmases for down where I live in the valley below the ski resort. So we haven't necessarily had very many white Christmases, annoyingly, in the last few years. So the sledging got waylaid. And then, the kids are older now. And then, of course, when my parents come to visit quite often at Christmas, sadly not this year, obviously. But, oh, are you still there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here.
And we so last year we went out for lunch because I just thought, it's so stressful. It's so stressful cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't get to enjoy it. And I remember my mum the same when we were young, just so much to do to make sure everything was ready and so on. So last year we went out for lunch just in a restaurant in the ski resort. And this year, just the four of us for obvious reasons this year. And we're going to go skiing in a little teeny tiny resort not far from us, and again eat in a restaurant. So yeah, it's really nice. And the Swiss tradition that we have brought into our house is that on the 24th, which is when the Swiss actually celebrate, which I think is quite common in Europe,
Yeah.
we have a fondue chinoise, which is not cheese, but it's meat cooked in stock.
Yeah.
So and we just do that on Christmas Eve. That's our little nod to being in a foreign country.
Oh, that's so fun. It's such a different way of eating, or just a different way to celebrate.
Yeah,
Christmas Eve is a fondue. So that's what they do in Switzerland, is the
I
fondue
believe so. Yeah,
dinner.
and they celebrate mostly on the 24th as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, that's great. Well, thank you for that. And then, how do you like celebrating Christmas in Switzerland compared to back in Scotland or UK?
I love it. I love it because it's so special when you have kids. You sort of go through that time after you're a kid, before you have your own kids, where it's nice and it's nice to see family, but it's so magical to be, yeah, to just have the kids. To be honest, it wouldn't really matter where we were as long as we were all together.
Yeah. Is there one thing that you miss about tradition in Scotland?
I do miss, I do really miss the massive, massive family gathering, really huge, like everybody piling in. And I do miss that. I really do. But, I had that for so many years of my life that I feel very lucky to have had it at all. So,
Yeah. And now, since it's your family and you're living in a different country,
yeah,
you can just change it up a little bit and then maybe
yeah,
travel home once in a while to
exactly.
have
That's what
that
we do.
feeling. Well, thank you so much for sharing how you celebrate in Scotland and then how you're gonna celebrate in Switzerland. And it's so great how you kind of just adapted a little bit, not all the way probably, but took on the tradition of the fondue the day before, and now you do the 25th, which is the big day for opening presents, and then also
Mm,
having your friends that you international friends or Swiss friends
yeah,
also be a part of it. And I think that's part
yeah,
of being
exactly.
international living abroad. You kind of just
Yeah,
have to adapt to the way the country is and um, accept change a little bit.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's nice, and as I say, if I've got my kids and my husband, I'm happy.
Yeah, you could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And
Well,
you asked me earlier to talk about my podcast, and I didn't
yeah,
mention it.
yeah.
It's called Chatting to a Friend, and
Mhm.
I'd love it if anyone could listen. It's talking to most incredible, amazing, amazing women about life and love, and not so much love, but life and experiences and their incredible achievements. So sorry to just get that little plug in there, but
No, no, we were talking about getting it in, and I'll have all the links if any of the listeners
awesome.
or anyone watching on YouTube, if you want to know a little bit more about Catie Friend's podcast or about what's going on in her podcast, please click on the links. It's going to be available on the YouTube and also on my website, so you can
Thank
link
you.
up with her. Well, for the listeners, if you're thank you for coming back. If you want to find out what day 24 is, 24 is my second to last day. It's Christmas Eve. You'll have to come back tomorrow and listen up or go on YouTube and check it out. Bye, everyone. Until tomorrow.